Hello and welcome to Wild Heart Yoga Holistic Healing for another Yin Yoga class. Let's just begin today, taking a few moments to get settled in, finding an easy seat at the center of your mat. Hands can rest gently on the legs, finding a soft gaze with the eyes or maybe inviting them to close. Take an inhale into that low belly space, your dantian, as you find length in the spine, making sure you're sitting straight. And exhale fully and slowly, allowing all the air to leave. Just feeling the mat beneath your sits bones. Taking in any sensations around you or within you. Noticing what's happening in your body before we get started today. Noticing any sounds or smells, the quality and temperature of the air against your skin. Take another deep inhale into that dantian and exhale slowly. Again, take another deep inhale, feeling the belly rise, and let it go. Just returning to the natural rhythm of the breath now, continuing to notice the rise and fall. For today's class, we are targeting the liver and gallbladder meridians, which make up the wood element. Blockages in these areas of fascia in the body are associated with struggles with anger, whether that be explosive anger, lack of control over anger, or perhaps repressed anger. Anger is one of those emotions that people respond to very differently. For some, we let anger override other emotions such as sadness or disappointment because it has a sense of power and control. But for others, anger can be more difficult to experience, especially if you are someone who doesn't handle conflict well and prefers to keep the peace in relationships. But maintaining a balance of how we feel anger and express it can be really important because anger is so powerful. It helps us create breakthrough in our lives, change things that need to be changed, set boundaries when they need to be set. But when we have too much anger, it can become explosive, it can become reactive instead of responsive, and also create damage or destruction in our lives and relationships. I'd invite you now to just take the next few moments to reflect on the role that anger plays in your life. Whatever comes up, just notice it without engaging in those thoughts or stewing over previous conversations or arguments. Just notice whatever comes up for you, and then return your attention back to the breath, coming back into this present moment. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and open the eyes again. And let's prepare for our first asana of the day, which is going to be our twisted resting deer pose. So let's get into this pose by beginning with the left leg in front of us at a 90-degree angle. The right leg is going to be at a 90-degree angle also out to the side, and then just scoot that leg back as far as you can. Inhale, finding length in the spine. Twist gently to the left. Take another inhale, making sure the spine is straight, and begin to fold from the hips over that left leg. Once you're as far as you can go with the straight back, take another inhale, and with your exhale, allow the upper body to just melt forward, finding a passive, relaxed position here. If you need, you can always place a bolster under the chest so you have something to rest onto if this is a little intense for you. The liver meridian runs on the inside of our calves and inner thigh and through the groin and around into our hip crest area. So right now we are targeting the liver meridian through a gentle compression of the groin, and maybe even a little bit into that hip area with this gentle twist. Now on the top of your foot, between the first and second toe, if you move up an inch or two, you may be able to find a tender area. This is your liver 3 acupressure point. So if you'd like, you can gently massage that area while we're in this pose. The left side of our body is considered the yin side, while the right side is considered the yang side. So the left side can be particularly important to massage if you're someone who represses your anger more, and the right foot will be more important to massage if you're someone who struggles more with anger outbursts, lack of control over your anger. Continue to find that deep breath, drawing that breath into that low belly space, and exhaling fully and slowly to melt deeper into our poses today. We're going to be holding our poses for 3 to 4 minutes in order to release the deepest layers of fascia where emotional energy is often stored, as well as to release and strengthen our connective tissue. So in each pose we take today, try to find as deep of a stretch as you can, where you're able to continue maintaining that breath and find stillness here. Just tuning into the body, noticing any thoughts or sensations that come up for you, then coming back to the breath, staying present in the moment. We only have about 45 seconds left on this side, so I will leave you in silence now to just tune in and notice anything that's happening for you. Great job. When you're ready, go ahead and make your way out of this pose, and we're gonna just take it to the other side. So now this time, bringing the right shin parallel toward the front of the mat, finding that 90-degree angle with the leg, and a 90-degree angle with the back leg. And once again, scooting that back leg away as far as you're able to today. Once you have your legs in the right position, and take an inhale, finding length in the spine once more. As you exhale, twist to the right and begin to fold from the hips with a straight spine over that right leg. Once you're as far as you can go with that straight back, take another deep inhale and exhale as you allow the chest to melt forward, forehead reaching towards the mat here. And once again, you can always rest onto a bolster or a pillow if this is a little intense for you today. Continue to breathe through discomfort. Whenever the mind begins to wander, or you feel the urge and temptation to come out of a pose, simply returning to that breath, breathing through the discomfort, knowing that it's a sensation in the body that will pass. In doing this, we're increasing our threshold for distress tolerance. Also learning how when we are angry sometimes and we want to react quickly, to be able to pause, take a breath, just notice what we're wanting to do, but choosing to respond in a way that's in better alignment with our values. And as we are on this side, if you would like to massage that liver 3 acupressure point on the right foot now, I'd invite you to do so. As a reminder, it is between the big toe and the second toe, about an inch or so up on the top of the foot. And will sometimes feel a little tender when you're in that right spot. We are about halfway through our time on this side, so I'll leave you in silence once again. Just tune inward, notice anything that's coming up for yourself, and practice breathing through any discomfort, finding a mindful presence in the moment. Wonderful job. In your own time, go ahead and make your way onto your back for a short rebound. Just extending the arms and the legs, making sure those shoulder blades are tucked gently down and back. Our rebounds just allow for our fascia to slowly come back before we stretch it again, especially if it's going to be stretched in another direction. So taking these rebounds is really important to help us get the most from our practice, during a yin practice that is, since the fascia moves slowly and takes extended periods of time to release. All right, when you are ready, go ahead and make your way onto your hands and knees for our next pose. And going from our tabletop position, go ahead and gently step that right foot forward, putting that right heel towards the outer side, the left side of the mat, and dropping that knee. So here we're thinking about keeping that shin parallel toward the front of the mat, but because everyone's body is built differently, if that heel needs to slide back closer toward the left hip, that's also totally fine. Be sure to listen to your body. So get that front leg aligned how you need it, and then extend the back leg, walking that foot back a little bit further so we're getting a full extension through the left hip flexor, as well as a deep stretch in the right hip. And take an inhale as you find length in the spine. As you exhale, begin to fold forward with the flat spine as far as you can. Then again, take another inhale. As you exhale, allow the chest to melt towards the floor. Or maybe you're going to be more comfortable resting the chest on a bolster or pillow today. As always, listen to your body, taking any modifications you need. Feel free to take any slight micro adjustments here, moving slightly side to side, forward or back, figuring out how this pose can best serve your body. And then once again, settle in, finding stillness, breathing through the discomfort, inhaling fresh oxygen into those hip areas, and exhaling, tension melting away. In the sleeping swan, we're hitting the liver meridian again, as well as the gallbladder meridian, which runs up the outsides of our legs, IT band, and into the hip. This pose can be really intense for a lot of people, especially if it's not one you've done before or very often. So continue to scan through the body, letting go of any resistance when you notice it, breathing through the discomfort. And as time passes, your body will begin to release a little more, become a little bit easier as you surrender a bit deeper here. We are over halfway on this side, so just continue breathing through it, finding bliss in the silence and stillness for the next few moments. Go ahead and take one more deep breath into the Dantian here. As you exhale, slowly make your way out of this swan pose, coming back into tabletop. And when you're ready, let's take it to the other side now. This time placing that left shin parallel toward the front of the mat, allowing that heel to come back if it needs to. Then extending the back leg, walking that foot back a little bit further to get that full extension through the hip flexor. Inhale, lengthening the spine. And exhale, folding from the hips with that straight back. Inhale, lengthening the spine once more. And exhale as you slowly melt forward. Chest and forehead reaching toward the mat or pillow or cushion. And as a reminder, if your hips are really uneven here, feel free to use a small pillow or folded blanket to wedge under that lower side of the hip in order to even them out a little bit. But if you're a little lopsided, again, that's totally fine, because in Yin Yoga, we're more focused on functional alignment rather than aesthetic alignment, recognizing that everyone's build and structure is a little different. This is why it's so important to listen to your body, taking any adjustments you may need, finding out how the pose can best serve you and your needs, and that might look different for you than for someone else. So honor what your body is asking for, and just be okay with where you're at. Where you are is exactly where you need to be. Inhale deep into that dantian, feeling that low belly rise. And exhale slowly, melting a little deeper. Inhale as you scan through the body, noticing where any unnecessary resistance is being held. And exhale, letting go, surrendering a little deeper now. We're about halfway done with this side. Wonderful job. In your own time, go ahead and release yourself from the sleeping swan pose. With as little movement as possible, find your way onto your back for another short rebound. Extending the arms and legs, gently tucking those shoulder blades down and back. And just relaxing the whole body as you feel the echo of the pose. Noticing any changes and sensations, whether that's physically or mentally. All right, when you're ready, gently turn onto your left side, making your way back up to seated for our final asana of the day. We're going to take a reclined butterfly with back bend now. So if you have a bolster, grab that now, or you can use a rolled blanket or pillow or a foam roll, or anything of the sort will do. And if you don't have anything like that around you, you can always do this without the back bend as well, just taking a Supta Baddha Konasana. So we're going to begin by bringing the soles of the feet together, placing that bolster or prop that you have just behind the low back, and then gently begin to lay back over this bolster, extending the arms overhead, taking a deep inhale, and exhaling fully, letting go of resistance in the hips as the knees drop away to the sides. Here you can move the heels closer toward the body to get deeper in the groin, or move the heels away from the body in order to make it a little bit less intense. The wood element represents breakthrough, represents new growth, new beginnings. And this is associated with the liver and gallbladder meridian because anger and frustration, the emotions of these meridians, are often a cause for breakthrough and change in our lives. And so when in balance, anger and frustration can actually be a really great thing to help us set boundaries, to help us get our needs met, to change things we don't like about ourselves, or to put more effort in so that breakthrough can happen, whether it's in relationships or our careers, whatever it may be. I encourage you to learn to see your anger and emotions in a new light, learning to understand what they need and are asking for. Increase your awareness of your own emotions so that you can begin to change your relationship with them. Not allowing them to have you, but allowing them to be a companion that helps guide you. And when you find that your anger is not being helpful in your life, when it's causing more problems than solutions, when it causes you to violate your higher values, then perhaps it is no longer serving you. And perhaps it's time to let that go, whatever that may look like for you. Just a little bit longer in this pose. You're doing awesome. Keep breathing through the discomfort, surrendering a little deeper here. Great job. When you're ready, go ahead and bring the knees back together. Just gently lift the hips to remove your prop, and then roll the spine back down one vertebrae at a time to be sure you're finding a neutral position with that spine. Extending the legs now. Arms resting at the sides, palms open toward the sky as we take our final Savasana of the day. Just scanning from head to toe, noticing any remaining tension in the body. And if you do, breathe into that area and exhale slowly, letting go of all that's no longer serving you. Finding an even deeper state of relaxation than you have yet throughout today's practice. Simply surrendering to the mat. Inhaling peace into the body. And exhaling tension away. I'd invite and even encourage you to stay in the Savasana even longer today if you have the time. But if you have to get on with your day and are ready to finish with me, then gently turn onto your right side this time, meeting me at the center of the mat for a final closing breath together. Let's inhale as you reach the arms overhead, and exhale slowly as the hands come to prayer at heart center. Just bowing down as you acknowledge yourself for taking the time to honor your mind and your body in this way today. Thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. I hope you feel great and ready to tackle whatever comes your way this day. As always, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you again soon. Have a great day, my friends. Namaste.